When I was a kid, back in the small pueblo where I grew up, everyone knew the cure. He was this old man, with eyes that seemed to hold stories from a time long before our own. His hands were like knotted tree roots, and they held a strange power. One afternoon, while I was chasing a stray dog near the market, his stopped me. He didn't just call my name, he grabbed my shoulder, his grip surprisingly firm, almost cold. He leaned in close, his voice a low whisper that cut through the noise of the bustling plaza. He said, "When you're 20, a black shadow will accompany you. Never, ever look at it in the mirror." I just laughed. I was a kid, you know. What did I care about shadows and prophecies? To me, it was just the ramblings of an old man trying to spook a child. I shrugged it off, ran off after the dog, and forgot all about it. For years, that memory was buried. Just a weird, faded snapshot from my childhood. Life went on. I moved away from the pueblo, went to the city for school, and built a new life for myself. The world of ghettos and old superstitions felt a million miles away. I was a modern man, living in a world of concrete and science, not shadows and whispers. The old man's words were just a funny story I'd occasionally tell my friends at parties, usually after a few drinks. Yeah, this crazy old healer told me I'd be haunted by a shadow on my 20th birthday, I'd say, and we'd all have a good laugh. It was a joke, a piece of small-town folklore that had no place in my reality. I was rational. I believed in what I could see and touch. A shadow that follows you. A warning not to look in the mirror. It sounded like something straight out of a campfire story, not a genuine prediction for my future. I was completely, utterly convinced it was nonsense. Well, today is my 20th birthday. The day started normally. Friends called, I got a bunch of texts, and I was planning a small get-together tonight. The sun was shining, and the world felt exactly as it should. The curandero's warning was the furthest thing from my mind. But as evening came and the light started to fade, a strange feeling crept over me. It was a chill that had nothing to do with the temperature, a sense of being watched. I dismissed it as birthday jitters, or maybe just fatigue. But it lingered. It was like a weight in the air, a pressure I couldn't quite place. I tried to distract myself, putting on some music and tidying up my apartment. But the feeling wouldn't go away. It grew stronger, more defined, as the last rays of sunlight disappeared from my window. Then I saw it. In the corner of my room, where the wall meets the ceiling, there's a patch of darkness. At first, I thought it was just a normal shadow, cast by my lamp or a piece of furniture. But it's different. It's darker than any shadow should be. A void of absolute black that seems to absorb the light around it. And it's not still. It writhes, it shifts and pulses, like something alive, something breathing in the corner of my vision. My heart is hammering against my ribs. My breath catches in my throat. I tell myself it's my eyes playing tricks on me, that I'm just tired and letting my imagination run wild because of that stupid old story. I've tried turning the lights on and off, moving the lamp, checking for anything that could be casting such a strange shape. Nothing. The shadow remains, independent of any light source. Tere. Tere? The curandero's voice echoes in my head, as clear as if he were standing right next to me. A black shadow will accompany you. He wasn't rambling. He wasn't trying to scare a kid. He was telling me my future. And now it's here, clinging to the corner of my room. The second part of his warning is what's really terrifying me now. Never look at it in the mirror. My apartment is small. The only mirror is on the bathroom door, right across the hall. To get to the bathroom, I have to walk past the corner where the shadow is. The thought of catching a glimpse of it in the reflection, is seeing what it really is, fills me with a primal dread I've never known. What would I see? Would it just be a shadow? Or would it be something else? Something with a form, a face. My phone has been buzzing with birthday messages, but I can't bring myself to answer. How can I explain this? Who would believe me? They'd all say what I used to say. It's just your imagination. They'd tell me to get some sleep. But I know I won't be sleeping tonight. I'm frozen, sitting here on my bed, keeping my eyes fixed away from that corner, away from the mirror. I can feel its presence. A cold spot in the room that seems to be growing. It feels like an intelligence, an awareness that knows I'm here, that knows I'm afraid. Every creak of the building, every distant siren, makes me jump. My own reflection in the dark screen of my laptop is enough to make my heart stop for a second. The old man said it would accompany me. Does that mean it will always be here? From now on? A silent, writhing patch of darkness in the corner of my life. What am I supposed to do? I live in the consequences now. Justas Said. I can't go back to the pueblo. It's hundreds of miles away. And what would I even say? The old curandero is probably long gone. I'm alone in this city apartment with a thing that defies all logic. The urge to look in the mirror is becoming overwhelming. It's like an itch I can't scratch. Part of me, the rational part that's screaming in panic, wants to see it, to define it, to prove it's real or not. But the child who heard that warning all those years ago is terrified of what he might find. What happens if I look? Why was that his one specific role? What horror is waiting for me in that reflection? The shadow in the corner just moved again. It stretched like a waking limb, reaching further down the wall. I think it's getting bigger.